Righty ho, this is for me. I'm just playing around with some new options. So this is normal. Normal. This is normal. Don't be looking at me. I'm not testing something about me. Right, this is this better? Oh, I saw betterness for myself then. Okay, that definitely was better from here. I want to play this back later and look for myself, because what I film always looks different to what I'm seeing anyway. Right, we have nothing there. Down, 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 down. Oh, there's quite a few clicks. Down, down. Is that down another one? I'm playing with something. Down. I don't think there's any more downs. Okay, so I don't know how many ups that was. So let's say up 1, up 2. That looks quite good, I think. Up 3. Up 4. Up 5. Up 6. Up 7. I think it's still going up. I think that's it. That's about 7 up. Okay. I don't know what that is. Ooh. What's that? Does that do anything? Is that looking any different? And we have that. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's changing anything. I don't know if you can see any changes from your end. It's because I've been using for a long time, because I'm using the webcam direct on YouTube. It's pretty bad quality. I try and remember to put the light on in this room, which is in the middle of the room, so it's that way quite a bit. So there's that. But I've been using a desk lamp behind the camera. That's been okay. It's better than not using it. But as you'll know, that's been flickering on and off just randomly at any given time for no reason lately. So I needed to try something else. And you'll see in an upcoming video what I've got. So watch out for my shopping haul that I did a while ago. And I've just been completely out of funk since my accident. And I've just not got round to setting it up. So I've set it up now. Yeah, I asked earlier if anyone's got some oomph to give me, send me some oomph. That would be appreciated, whatever that might be. Just to, my friend gave me a nice boot to kick up the behind. That worked nicely. Thanks for that. And or a stick of dynamite just to get me going. I don't know what it is. As you know, I've got serious illness and disabilities. I can get by with that. It upsets me and puts me down, but I get that. But something as simple as this, I don't know why. Don't know why. It's, yes, I don't know why. Oh, you're out of tilt. I can see you've got a bit of wall. Look, I took so long to make. There we go. There, that's better, isn't it? So yeah, just I think it's something extra is the thing that to deal with, as they say, the straw that broke the camel's back. Now I'm not really sure what the difference is between pressing that. Okay, that gives us softer lighting. And you know it's going to be cheap what I'm using. It's not like I get money from YouTube or anything. Is that too bright? I don't know. I suppose that's a white light. I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm doing. There's no instructions. Just pressing buttons. That seems quite good. But I like this. What does that do? What does that do? It's very pretty for me to look at. Very pretty. Hey, I've got a whole disco going on. Maybe that's not right. Oh, it does other things. Oh, it's spinning now. I'll have to film it somehow and show you it. Oh, got spinning. Now it's doing something else. It's very pretty. Maybe you can see it in my glasses. Look, can you see in my glasses? It's around my eyeballs. Now it's doing, I don't think you can see that now. That's quite funky. Oh, very pretty. Oh, it does lots of things. If you press buttons in different orders, there's different options. Interesting. Oh, I like that. How does that look? Ooh. I think that's quite good. I'm going to leave it at that for a minute. Okay. So today I'm going to play a new game. A new game. Yes, a new game. It's called Top 5, the game that will get you talking, thinking and laughing. There. So we'll play that in a minute. Also, I want to go through what you should be doing in your garden this week or this weekend. Hey there, top 5. You're one of my top 5. So I'll be going through that. But what I thought, some people prefer coming on here for my games. Some people prefer the gardening and other things. So I thought what I would do today is read you a small amount of what to do in your garden and then play a bit of the game and then go back to the garden, then play a bit of the game. We're all happy. Yay. But before that, I'll show you some bits and pieces. Oh, I'm still reading my book. I was just getting sorted out with this book. You know, it's been a bit confusing. I just thought I got it in my head, right, this was his dad now. The bit I thought the beginning was him. Maybe it was his dad's story. Okay. Now it's him, what I'm reading now. But now it's suddenly jumped to I don't know when, and it's him again, but like in a parallel life, it seems. It's a completely different story about how he is. I get so confused. I'm hoping at the end it's all explained. If you've ever read this book, please help me. I'm sure it will suddenly make sense. I get it. Maybe it's one of those you read and you're like, right. And then you go back and reread it. Maybe. I'm hoping it's that because it's all over the place. It really is. So that I have read quite a bit more. This is the bit I've read. So I am getting through it. This I showed on my last live. This is currently what I'm doing. Somebody gave me this pretty colour ropey stuff because they knew I like to make things and crafts or use in the garden. But look, it's too pretty. What pretty colours. So I've started making, I showed it in my last live, but the example is I make paper baskets. So I thought I could make a basket out of the rope. And here's the start. Ooh, but unfortunately I've got to sew it, hence the needle in the top. And yeah, sewing's not the most fun thing for me to do. But this is the base. And I want to use the whole rope up for one basket. And I was saying on my last live, I can't work out at the moment how much I need to go around and make this base before I start going up to the top to use it all up. So I've got to figure that out. I've tried just like doing it. It doesn't work. So I guess I could measure. Maybe measure down. That sounds an option. So I haven't done any since I last showed it, and I'm doing it on time lapse. I thought it'd be a good time lapse. So this will be on my other channel. And if you don't know my other channel, it's linked below in the description under this live. So yeah, I've got more to do with that. Yeah, fairly neat. Fairly neat. So that's what I've been busying myself with. And then I've been editing a video today. I've edited 2. It's been really good. Haven't been on many people's channels. I can either edit or go on people's channels. But I got 2 edited. And there's so many on my board here. Like I've filmed stuff and I put it up there now so I don't forget I need to edit them. And there were so many up there. I thought you need to get some done. So some are a little bit behind the times. But I thought I would share with you something I saw in that edit that I was doing that you haven't seen, and look out for it. I will post it fairly soon. It's like one of my days, filming you one of my days, and we go to a recycling centre and you can take stuff and take it away free of charge. You don't pay to put things there that you don't want, and you don't pay to collect stuff. So you can take like your old fridge, freezers, things that don't work there, like car batteries, all those things you can't throw away. So you can take them there. There's absolutely no charge. I know some countries charge you. And then you can go there either at that point or separately and take away anything you want. So Mike was looking for, I think he said, a knob for a gas cooker that's broken, and he was trying to find the same knob. He couldn't find that. I won't show you or tell you everything that's in there because I want you to obviously watch the video where it comes out, but I'll show you one item. It was this. Now it's old and it's a bit knackered, shall we say. It still works the lock, and I haven't even cleaned it up yet. This is how it came. Again, can't be bothered to do anything much. That's the inside. It's lined. So initially we were thinking something outside, and I've come up with the idea maybe we have coasters outside that we keep just for use in the garden. That would keep them clean and dry. So maybe I'll use it for that. Maybe. Okay, so do we start with game or garden? Let's read you a little bit. These are from Mike's mum's books that she collected weekly. And the first part of each one is each week of each month of the whole year, telling you what to do in your garden. So I'll read you a little bit of it, then we'll play a bit of game, then I'll read you a bit more game, so on and so forth. Okay, so this guy, Ralph Whitlock, this is who's written it. He says, in discussing the sowing of seed in the open garden these past 2 weeks, I emphasised that there was no hurry to get most seeds into the soil. From now onwards, however, you can gradually take the break off. The second fortnight of April and the first fortnight of May are the peak periods for sowing. In the vegetable garden, the rest of the leafy brassicas, with the exception of Chinese cabbage, best kept until July, can now be sown, as well as successional crops of carrots, onion, lettuce, peas, spinach and turnips. If the weather has been unfavourable so far, it is not too late for sowing leeks, parsnips and broad beans. Looks better old, yeah. I'm not going to do a lot with it. I'm going to dust it down. We're going to dust it down. Okay, I'm going to put the marker there, and then we start playing top 5. Oh, get the lid off. Okay, top 5. The first card says, it's just like cards. First card says, name your top 5 of things you'd say to your hero. Ooh, if you want to play along, you can put your thoughts in. If you're watching this back later, you can always drop things in the comments. Your top 5 things you'd say to your hero. Well, Mike's my hero, so top 5 things. I need that done. That's 1. I do love you. That's 2. I miss you. You might have only gone down the end of the garden and back. That's 3. Darling, could you just get me ... That's 4. What else? Can we go to Jumbo? That's 5. There we go. That's the top 5 things I'd say to my hero, that I do say to my hero. Probably could have picked better ones. And that's funny, because looking at BC Treasure Trails, the last comment of the box I showed, you put, it looks better old. I wouldn't say that to my hero. In fact, no, I did say that to him recently. I've seen an old picture of him when he was, I don't know, I'm guessing early 20s, and he had like the 70s moustache. And I went, oh, I wouldn't have liked you then. I would have walked away. So, yeah. And he's someone in my mind that does look better mature. Some men particularly look better when they're older. I think they sort of settle into their body, and yeah, so maybe that. I've seen pictures of him as a little boy, like say age 6 or something. He's well cute then. So, yeah, I think he's, in my opinion, I've only known him older. So, yeah, I think he basically does look better older. Older. Okay, let's read a bit more of garden. Then we'll do another card. Potatoes should be planted, also shallots, onion sets and Jerusalem artichokes. For those gardeners who like to grow themselves a luxury vegetable, this is a good time to make new asparagus beds and plantations of globe artichokes. Ooh, would have been better if I had a marker. Oh, I've got a bookmark here. Let's use that. Trying to use a pencil to keep my place. That's going to roll. Okay, you're lagging. Okay. Name your top 5 ways of avoiding doing work. By going to coma, I think that's quite good avoidance. Ways of avoiding doing work. Oh gosh, you have to say 5 for everything. So let's use that. Number 2, the avoiding work. It's got to be something about you haven't got the right tool, or the tool's broken, or something like that. So don't have a sufficient tool to do the job. Let's say that. Avoiding work. Obviously, I'm talking about gardening because I don't work, but it could be any sort of work. Well, I've said about this before that Mike always cooks the Sunday dinner, and that's because I never bothered on my own, and he's always done it on his own. He used to just buy, he said, a leg of chicken or something, but he'd always have a Sunday dinner. So when I first knew him, he invited me to Sunday lunch, and he cooked a Sunday lunch, and he invited me to a Christmas dinner, and that's something else I've never cooked, never did it on my own. So basically he's always done it, so he continues to do it. There. So avoiding doing work is basically just letting someone continue to do it that's always done it, I suppose. 3, I don't like handling, like say like chicken and that, you know, when it's all bloody in that. If you had to kill an animal yourself and then cook it and all the rest of it, I probably wouldn't eat meat. Pretending to look busy like I'm on a mission, love it. Cruises fun anytime. Nice to see you. We're talking about 5 ways of avoiding doing work. Avoiding doing work. If it's about going to work, like going to a place of work, you just can't get there, I suppose. So you say, I can't get there, physically can't get there. I don't drive, and public transport is on strike, let's say. That's 4. And you don't pay me enough for me to get a cab. That's 4. One more way of avoiding work. I know some people make such a bodge of something deliberately so they're not asked to do it again. I know that. So let's say that wouldn't be me. But let's say that, then I've got 5. It's quite hard to think of 5 spontaneously. Okay, let's read a bit more of garden. Once all the seeds are in the soil, the pests that prey on them will have a field day unless you take steps to prevent them. The most troublesome are likely to be sparrows, mice, and slugs. We have snail issues. When the soil, because I said about snails, when the soil is dry or drying sparrows, or drying, start again. I'll try and get my letters in the right order this time. When the soil is dry or drying, sparrows love to scratch and dust bath on your seed beds. They appreciate the fine tilth of the soil. Besides uprooting the seedlings and scattering them far and wide, they peck at them, presumably to enjoy the moisture of all the small green leaves. They seem to have a particular fondness for brassicas and peas. Old-time gardeners use wire pea guards to protect the plants from attacks. These semi-cylindrical tunnels of wire mesh are not difficult to make, and homemade ones are cheaper than the shop-bought ones. Pea guards can, of course, be used to protect brassicas and almost every other crop. Black cotton, however, makes a satisfactory protection for small seedlings. Make a zigzag crisscrossing pattern of black cotton raised about 1 centimetre above the surface of the soil, over and around the plants, pegging it with numerous pegs to keep the cotton tight. The principle behind the device is that the cotton, being black, cannot be seen by the birds against a background of dark soil. Their feet and wings fall foul of the invisible strands, and after one such experience, they keep well away. A nylon mesh can be equally effective in deterring birds, but when you come to remove it, you may find the plants have grown through the meshes and will lose some of their leaves in the operation. And do bear in mind the laws about what size meshes you can and can't use in areas and countries now. Here we've got a very heavy law and heavy fine if you use mesh that animals can get stuck in. So there's a picture of what they're talking about. So do know your size allowances for things like this. Okay, I've got to change this lighting because now it's getting on my nerves. We can change, right, okay. Let's go. No, I don't want that. There, how's that? Okay, next, top 5. Name your top 5 favourite places to visit. Places can be countries. I'm going to say countries. My favourite 5 places that I have visited that I like is Cuba, Bahamas, Ibiza, Corfu. That's quite similar to here. Rhodes was pretty. I didn't see too much of Rhodes, but Rhodes was very pretty as well. So I'm going to pick those 5. That's going to be my 5. Do another 5. Name your top 5 things that really annoy you. People who get away with doing wrong. That's got to be one of my top things. People who get a lot of money for doing nothing, and the hardest of workers get not a lot. People who get fame and glory, let's say things like footballers, actors, anything like that, pop stars, and then they moan about privacy and whatever, but then as soon as they want to, they use even say their children for publicity. 3, internet's lagging bad today. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Mine was bad yesterday. People that annoy me. Just rude people in general, people who are rude, and people who think they're above other people. So they look down their nose at, let's say, a homeless person, but they don't know who that homeless person was or their story, for example. So that'd be my top 5. Okay, a bit more garden. I think this is working quite well. Let me know below if you think this is a good way to do this, because I know a lot of people are so keen on the garden slot and some like the game, so we're doing both at the same time. Mice eat peas and beans during germination before the shoots appear above the surface. Yes, some people think it's when they come up. I put upturned water bottles over them when I've seeded them, and I know they're going to be fine. I also know things like sweet corn, grow them raised, because that will deter mice particularly getting to them. The traditional treatment is to moisten the seeds with paraffin. I wouldn't be doing that. And then dust them with red lead. I wouldn't be doing that. But you can usually buy ready dressed seed. Go with my tip. Either grow them raised, particularly things like corn or sweet corn. That deters them a lot. Don't grow them in the ground because things burrow. Or cover them immediately you've sowed them. You could possibly even put some form of like chicken wire, but tighter, underneath the ground you're going to sow in, and then animals can't burrow. So a bit like you'd do a chicken coop, you'd put mesh or something tighter under, like a chicken thing, to stop foxes and things getting in. So something like that. Slugs are a pest and will eat virtually anything green and succulent. The best defence is pellets. I wouldn't use that. Liberally scattered around the plants which need protection. Soot is also quite effective and has the additional advantage of helping because it's dark colour to retain warmth in the soil. Let's do another card. Name your top 5 things that make other people happy. A hug, a kind word, a surprise gift or letter, other people happy, remembering their birthday, one more, things that make other people happy. Just a visit, surprise visit. And any of you who want to surprise visit me, you're very welcome. Do another one. Name your top 5 silliest things you could do. Top 5 silliest things you could do. I do quite mad dancing that makes people laugh. I'm professionally trained. I got money for it. So that's one, silly dancing. I do my gingerbread men story on my other channel. Again, if you don't know my other channel, it's linked below. It's got its own playlist, Life of the Gingerbread Man. And it's you've just got to see it to understand it, basically. It's the story of a gingerbread man's life, Ninja Ginger, and you meet different characters. He meets a girlfriend, they get married, he gets a pet dog, and I won't go on and spoil it for you, but fun things like that. It's a bit silly, but it's really fun. Silly things you can do. I'm quite into jokes, funny jokes and things like that, as in verbal jokes. That. I like playing games, as in board games and that, silly board games. I'll do anything that's fun like that. And I am well known for writing and performing sketches professionally. So that, again, on my other channel, look for the video, what's it called? Gerald the Talking Gorilla. That will give you a prime example, definitely. Okay, back to the garden in April. This week in April, what you should be doing this week or this weekend. April is not usually regarded as a harvest month, but a glance at the calendar checklist reveals the surprising total of 10 crops which may now be harvested. If there are a few swedes and parsnips left in the ground, they should now be dug up and used quickly, as they will soon be sending out green leaves. Alternatively, the swedes, though not the parsnips, may be allowed to remain a little longer and produce a crop of leaves, which are a useful vegetable when other greens are scarce. Okay, let's do another card. Do let me know if you prefer this format below. For me, it's working fairly well as long as I remember to bookmark where I am. Name your top 5 ways of showing you care. Well, that's a little bit like the other one, isn't it? Popping round to see if someone's okay. Literally popping round rather than telephoning. If you do some cooking, if you're into cooking cakes and batches of things, then take an extra one round to somebody. Winter time, make sure they're warm, and more preferable, let them come and stay around for a week or weekend or for an evening. Cook them something nice and have the fire going in your house. Share your heat. Showing you care. Always say, I have free time. I'd like to do something. What would you like me to do for you? Showing you care. If you were a driver and maybe they weren't a driver, say, I'm popping into town. Do you want me to get you anything, or can I take you? Maybe that's 5 things. Name your top 5 worst jokes you've ever heard. Oh, top of my head, that's very difficult. Worst jokes. The ones where people tell you a cheesy, corny joke, but it's not even funny. So that's general. Rude jokes, as in rude. Knock jokes. Do you know that? Knock, who's there? And you say Doctor Who. That's right, Doctor Who. I'm a bit bland. 5 worst jokes. Why did the chicken cross the road? Those sort of jokes. A couple might be funny, but then they're just boring. And worst jokes are really long jokes, and then the punchline is rubbish. So you're listening all that time, and the last one's really rubbish, the last bit. Yes. Okay, back to the gardening. If you have been clever in your choice of varieties, and if winter has not been too severe, you could now have spring broccoli to cut every week, a welcome contribution to the table in lean April. For instance, the popular variety Snow White, sown in late spring last year, will give you a crop now. All leafy brassicas which have survived the winter will now be starting to produce leaves, all of which are edible as greens. Tell me, guys, in the comments below what greens you eat the leaves off of. I do carrots. They're well tasty. If you don't eat your carrot leaves, carrots, radish leaves, broccoli leaves, beetroot leaves. Not a lot of people know you can eat different types of squash, or zucchini leaves. They're just a bit harder to prepare because you've got to take all the veins off. They're not as tasty in my opinion, so I don't always bother with those. I eat lettuce leaves. But let me know if there's any I've missed of vegetables that you eat the leaves of. Yeah, let me know that rather than leaf things. Once the process begins, however, it is soon progress to the flower bearing stage, so the shoots should be used quickly. When no more are needed, or when the flowers begin to appear, cut down the plants, burn the woody stumps, and dig in the foliage for green manure. Okay, let's do another set of cards. I'll try and keep these separate this time. The other game, I dropped them all. They need sorted out as to what we've done and what we haven't. Name your top 5 games you'd like to avoid. Ring a Rosie. It's boring. Games you like to avoid. Card games that I don't know, because by the time someone tries to teach you a card game, it's like it just gets, you feel everyone's pressures on you to learn it because they're all wanting to play it. So you're better off, if you want to learn something like a card game, go away and learn it. Don't try and be included in the game. So there's a lot of card games I don't know. Games you like to avoid. Oh, we talked about this game of life the other day. That's got to be one of the most boring board games ever. So we say that one, and you know me, I love board games and games. I don't like games that are really difficult, as in the rules are just so monotonous that you never get to learn them. There's some of these battle type games, I don't know which ones, but there's some games the rules are just, so I'll just generalise, games with really long, laborious rules that takes more time to learn the rules, and then you forget the rules, you've got to look back again. So I'll generalise that as number 4. The other games I don't like. It's very rare someone says, oh, do you want to play blah, blah? And I'm like, oh, no. I'll be like, oh, who wants to play a game? Need to think of a 5th one. Oh, let's say noughts and crosses or tic-tac-toe. I don't mind it, but after a few goes, it's boring. And if you know how to win every time, it's all the more boring. So I don't dislike that game, but it's monotonous. If again, that sort of thing. Does anyone know where that comes from? Again, Teletubbies. Okay, let's read a bit more about April gardening. If you're bringing on early crops of lettuce, anyone grow lettuce, radish and spring onions under cloches or in a frame, these should be ready now. If you're growing some of the hardy winter varieties outdoors without protection, thin the rows now and transplant the thinnings. It's really only worthwhile transplanting these and the early crops of lettuce bought on in boxes. Later, when the lettuce seedlings sown outdoors this spring start to grow, it's better to thin them out and put the thinnings on a compost heap or in a salad, or if scarce, just eat them. The latter the season, the more transplanted lettuce are inclined to bolt before forming a heart. There are plenty of general jobs to be done in the vegetable garden. Remember to get your supporters ready for beans and peas and dig over any plot as it becomes vacant. I've already got my beans out, but I haven't sown my peas. Okay, I have edited that today, the planting out of cucumbers, beans. They've been out for some time, since before my accident. What else did I edit today? Oh, my like a day in the life. Just follow me for a day and you see what my doctor's looks like, and the recycling centre and a shopping haul. Name your top 5 things that make you bashful. Ooh, bashful. I don't know, let's say if you walk in a room and everyone just turns and looks at you and stops talking, I think that would make you feel pretty bashful. Everyone just stops, like a whole crowded room in a sad party or something, and you walk in, not only does everyone turn and look at you, but they all just go silent from all that loud chit-chat. That that's one. Haven't experienced that. I don't know where that came from, but one. Bashful. Always when on stage I've been given awards and things like that, and everyone goes on talking a load of over exuberant, how wonderful you are, all that sort of talk. So that's 2. Bashful. Let's say I haven't done this before either, but I've talked about this for a laugh before. You go to a fancy dress party with the best costume ever, and it's not a fancy dress party. That. Gotta think of 2 more things. Bashful. If you were dressing up as one of the 7 dwarves, you could be very bashful. That's a good one, Dawn. I like that. That's my humour. Make you feel very bashful. Something, let's say you start walking around and you've sat down on a bench and then you go walking around, everyone stares at you, and let's say you've sat on a bench that's just been painted and then you're aware you've got all this marks for the rest of the day or whatever. That's a good one. Good one, Dawn. Good one. That's a good one. Okay, let's talk about where was we up to? I did put a mark on there. Yes, let's talk about in the fruit garden in April. Keep an eye on your plum trees for leaves and young shoots which start to curl. This is called by the leaf curling plum aphid. This pest secretes honeydew, and a sooty mould fungus will frequently form on this. Control by spraying. No, we don't do spraying here. Choose a still day, which is cool and dry, for spraying trees. No spray here. No, we do different alternatives. Remember to keep up with your program of spraying with apples and pears. Not for me. Woolly aphids may appear on apple trees about now. This fluffy white pest feeds on the junction of branches, causing the bark to crack and allow canker and other fungal diseases to develop. Now, if you look in my playlist, I think it's Friend or Foe, something like that. Insects, friends or foe, something like that. I've got a video how you can get rid of it naturally. If you have not already done so, give your gooseberries their annual mulch of rotted manure or garden compost, as much as you can spare. This mulch, as well as conserving moisture and keeping down the weeds, will supply the bush with essential organic matter. That's the words we like. We don't like the 1970s. That's the only thing I don't like about the 70s, or obviously as an adult in England, it was a 3-day week and strikes and all that. But as a child growing up, 70s were great. Name your top 5 rules for a happy life. 1, be positive. Definitely. 2, do what you want to do and don't let anything stop you. 3, surround yourself with like-minded people. 4, avoid back right away from the naysayers and anyone with no positivity. And 5, oh, can you hear that cat? I don't know if you can hear it. There's one outside the window. It's a visitor cat. Number 5, rules for a happy life. Go and live where you want to live. Don't make excuses. Go and live there and do what you want to do. So get yourself in a good environment. Easy. Quite amazed how most of these sort of questions I can just answer. Not many, I have to think. Let's do another card. Name your top 5 famous people you would like to be. Well, famous to me is historical people. I don't count actors and personalities as famous. I don't really count that as famous. Famous people you'd like to be. There's no one else I'd like to be. Famous people. I don't want to be anyone famous. Can we have fantasy famous? No, famous people. I don't want to be, but let's say who would have been interesting to be, but I don't want to be. Maybe someone, let's say like Christopher Columbus, who went adventuring and discovering, but I wouldn't like to have been him for lots of reasons. Who else? Oh, this is actually a hard one. There's me saying they're easy because I don't want to be anyone. famous. I certainly don't want to be anyone now. I wouldn't mind, let's say, being someone just for a trial, someone who's like famous as in the limelight famous, and they've got lots of money and live in a big house. You know, I'd be like staying in a expensive hotel for a while, but I certainly don't want to be them, because deep down I'm sure many of them are very unhappy. But let's say somebody like that. Someone, let's say, again, I don't want to be them, but I'm trying to think of someone that I wouldn't mind as much. Someone like Julie Andrews, because to be in The Sound of Music would have been perfect, because I always wanted to be in a musical on location. So if I've got to pick someone, you have to be done. Let's say Julie Andrews. Yeah, let's say Julie Andrews. That's a real one. Let's see. Oh, this one's very hard. I don't know. I don't know. What have we got? We've kind of got three, haven't we? We've got three. Maybe royalty from Victorian or Edwardian times. So let's say Queen Victoria, just to see what life was like in those days, because I would like to see those days for real. But you've got to be someone with money in those days, not on the streets. So, okay, if you've got to be, again, don't want to be. Now I've got to pick one more. Can't think of anyone else I want to be, which is a good thing. Oh dear, come on, think of somebody. I don't know a name, but let's say the greatest pianist in the world, whoever that was at some time, that you could just hear music, play it to perfection. Let's say that. So the only true one of all those would be, if I had to be one, is Julie Andrews, let's say. There. Back to the garden. April in the herb garden. This week is a good time to start sowing a number of popular herbs, including chives, mint and parsley. My parsley's about this tall. My chives I've been eating for a long time. My mint is growing maybe about this tall. Remember, a packet of parsley seeds contains far too many to sow at once. Plan a succession instead. A less common herb, chervil, is also ready for sowing now. This leafy herb with an aniseed flavour makes an interesting addition to the salad bowl. Dun, dun, dun. Does anyone grow that? Let me know in the comments. Name your top 5 songs you would like to sing. The most recent song I've sung live is the Happy Birthday song that we sing in Cyprus. And if you want to hear me sing it, I was really ill on the day, but it's my live from not December just gone, but I think the December before that. So look for the 6th of December live. As I say, not the December just gone, but the one prior to that. And it says something about it's my birthday is the title probably of the live. And I sing the happy birthday song in Cypriot, and then I translate it for you. And it's a really lovely song. The words, you'll have to go on it to know the translation, but it is pretty song, nice tune, good words. I do not like the English happy birthday song. So songs I'd like to sing, we'll say that because I sung that and I do like that. I do like a lot of Pink songs. They're quite positive. So like the Survivor songs, those type of ones. Trying Try to think of my karaoke songs. I don't like karaoke, but there are times when you can't avoid it. What's one of those? What's it called? Oh dear. Not very good at recalling things top of my head like this, names of things. Try to think of it. I can't think of songs where another song's playing. Do you get that? If a song's playing, you try to think of another song. Zoom, Fat Larry's Band. That's my go-to easy karaoke song. You won't hear me singing live very often. I had to do it in stage school and musicals, but I'm not a singer. So Zoom, Fat Larry's Band. When you've had a few little drinkies, you can really get going on that one. Zoom, Fat Larry's Band. It's quite a lot. We have Boom Radio. If you're in England, you can get Boom Radio, and it's all the old DJs from Capital Radio, Radio Caroline, Radio 1. It's all the old DJs who've got together and they've got Boom Radio. You can get it on an app, so wherever in the world you are, you can hear it too. And it's all older music, my generation, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It's really good. I've got to have two more songs you'd like to sing. I like the modern Disney songs, like we're talking era of Aladdin, that kind of era of Beauty and the Beast, not right up to date ones, not Frozen and that kind of one, sort of the pre that, when they weren't churning them out left, right and centre. So Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, those kind of songs, I like that. And Circle of Life, that era of Disney. And what else do we sing? Let's say, Elton John. Obviously Elton John. We like a nice sing-song of Elton John, so most of Elton John. If I've got to pick one to sing, Yellow Brick Road, probably, because the words of that are awesome if you know the meaning. So let's go back to April in the greenhouse. Weather in mid-April is still extremely variable, and the temperature in the greenhouse may already be so high in the afternoons as to require shading, and yet there may still be frost at night. No frost here ever. Ventilate in the middle of the day, but have the windows closed again by about 4 p.m. If you're planning to try some green peppers or aubergines, which is eggplants to you, under glass this year, there's still time to make a sowing. If you already have young plants coming on, now is the time to start transplanting into pots. 7.5 centimetres, 3-inch pots should be adequate. Jolly ho! Name your top 5 events that leave you puzzled. Events. Well, my question is St. Patrick's Day. Now, I get, let's say in America, there's Irish communities. I get that. And in other countries, maybe Australia, there's Irish communities. But why do some people that aren't Irish go full pelt into that more than they would their own things? For example, England goes full pelt on St. Patrick's Day, but St. George's Day is a very low-key affair. That is an event that leaves me puzzled, let's say that. Number 2, Halloween in America. Halloween is ghosts, goblins, witches, skeletons, pumpkins, yes? And that's what you dress up as. But no, why? Explain to me, I don't know. Why in America do you dress up as absolutely anything for Halloween? What's the link? I've never got that, and I never understand that. So that's number 2. Someone tell me. I really want to know. No one can ever explain that to me. Number 3. Why does everyone, I've said this before, why does everyone call Lego Legos with an S on the end? Legos. Where is this word Legos from? On the box, it is printed Lego. In the box are multiple bricks. It is still Lego. Plural of Lego is Lego. There is no such thing as Legos. So the event, when they actually have an American event, do they say Lego event or Legos events? Because I've only ever heard people say Legos. Where did that come from? 2 more. 2 more. Events that leave you puzzled. Okay, let's say maybe, I don't want to say riots or strikes, something like, what do you call it when you protest? That's it, protest. When there's protest, it puzzles me where you could probably pick out quite a lot of people in those protests who don't even know what the protest is about or anything about it. They just join in. Events that leave me puzzled. 5. Events that leave you puzzled. Thinking. Okay. Old story. People talk about scones and they have jam and cream on. Jam and cream. Why do people keep on and on? Oh, what goes first, the jam or the cream? What goes first? Oh, does Devon do one thing? Does Cornwall do the other? No, this is the answer. When you have a scone, you put the jam on and then the clotted cream. End of story. Please leave that alone. That is fact. Don't come back to me because that is fact. Jam, cream, done. How on earth would you spread jam on clotted cream? My goodness. Thank you. Rant over. Back to the gardening. At a glance calendar, April week 3. For vegetables, you should be sowing Brussels sprouts, broad beans, sprouting broccoli, cabbage, carrots, endive, kale, leeks, lettuce, parsnips, peas, onions, radish, savoy, spinach, salsify. We've got tons of salsify wild all around our land at the moment, all in flower. Scolzona and turnips. You should be planting potatoes, onion sets, shallots, globe artichokes, Jerusalem artichokes, asparagus. Our globe artichokes are now probably like this big, really pretty at the moment. I do always let some go to flower, apart from having pollinators coming in. They are so pretty, the purple flowers. To plant the vegetables right now, I just did that one. Potatoes, onion set, shallots, globe artichokes, Jerusalem artichokes, asparagus. Blah, blah. To transplant right now, lettuce. To harvest, spring broccoli, kale, winter greens general, false chicory, false rhubarb, lettuce, radish, spring onions, swedes and parsnip. Okay, let's do another top 5 question. Name your top 5 things that make you feel warm inside. Brandy, hot coffee, soup. Mike often goes, oh, it's a soup day. A nice chili con carne. This is a bit food-based, is it not? And just people showing their love. Someone with a really nice comment. It's like, oh, I someone recently, and I thought, oh, that was such a lovely comment, and Yeah, that was really nice. Let's do another one of the top 5 question. Name your top 5 most memorable TV advertisements. I'm listening to a podcast at the moment. I love it. I'll have to link it somewhere. But he talks about, I have to write down his info because I want to go on his website as well. He's English and he talks about growing up in the 70s TV. So obviously suits me right down to the ground. And he was talking about the public information films. Maybe I'll talk about those one day. I think I might have talked about them in the past, but that is a big section I will talk about. And he was singing some theme tunes this week. So most memorable TV advertisements. They were always tunes, and I'm sure if you hear them today, you would remember them. I think a lot of adverts today are forgotten. I think you need a good, snappy, like theme tune for your advert, definitely. So, most memorable TV adverts, it's got to be obviously children's adverts from the 70s. I remember Lion's Made. Now, Lion's Made was a brand of like ice creams. And forgive me if I get wrong, I was only a child. The logo was 3 children, definitely. Now, I can't remember if it was 1 boy and 2 girls or 2 girls and a boy. I'm going to say it was 2 boys and a girl. I'm going to have to try and look it up somewhere now. They're just in positions, very, not cartoony-like, but drawn. And I would think they were all holding a different ice cream or lollipop, as we say. Popsicle. Ice popsicle, lollipop and ice cream. And I seem to recall the advert, they came out of they weren't picture, it was a plain white background with just the 3 characters, I'm sure. And they moved. I don't know if they danced or what, but I remember that. So the Lion's Made ice cream advert. Cresta. Me and Blue were talking on One of My Lives recently about Cresta. Cresta was like a fizzy drink or a soda or a pop, whatever you call it, wherever you come from. And they came, remember, this is in the days when the only fizzy drink was basically Pepsi, Coke, lemonade. There wasn't much more, particularly in England, other than that. That was more or less it. And they brought in Cresta, which was, wow, fruit flavour sodas or pop or whatever you want to call it, fizzy drinks. And it had a polar bear on the front. And it used to be very frothy on the top. And the polar bear had dark sunglasses on. And he was animated. And he'd say, "It's frothy, man." I remember that. And you had different flavours like strawberry and I don't know if there was an orange one. I just remember the pink one. I'm not a great lover of strawberry flavour, but I think, or maybe it was cherry. I think it was strawberry. And I remember that. So I'm going to say that one. I've got to do 5, haven't I? That's 2. I remember a more modern one was Pepsi, and I used to be able to say all of it. I can't now, but it was thoughts that is a never give a good. I can't remember any of the words, and it ends up with Pepsi. I don't know any of the words now. I'll have to look that up now. But it was like a almost like a rap, if you like, and then it says is Pepsi. There was that one. Obviously, I don't remember that very well, and that was probably when I was more a teenager. So. Okay, but I do remember it. What else do I remember? Adverts. Oh, I'm going to say, just because it was on my mind the other day, Terry's Chocolate Orange. Do you know it? It's like Terry's is dark chocolate, but I believe they do a white chocolate one. Now maybe the milk chocolate, I don't know. And it's a ball, it looks like an orange. It's wrapped in orange paper to make it look like an orange. And that used to be Christmas, but I see it's now Easter as well. Now, the slogan was, I can't remember what we saw it the other day. I was like, what are they saying? Some advert for it. See, again, I only saw it the other day. Can't remember what they said, but it was quite rubbish. But the advert used to be, tap it, unwrap it. And there's a middle kind of chunk, or used to be, of chocolate in the middle. And if you took it out the box, because it came in a box, if you took it out of the box and you banged the middle, sort of, you got the ball, but where this chunk is in the middle, you tapped it there, you could open the paper and the segments would all go like that. So it was tap it, unwrap it, that. I remember that. I don't remember any more than that, but that was it. So what's that? Is that 4 now? Got limeade, Pepsi, Cresta, orange, one more. Baby Sham. Now that's from, I was very little then. Baby Sham was, I don't know what it is really. Mike could probably be able to tell me. It's like a fizzy, I'm not sure what Baby Sham is now. Like a fizzy wine, I'm going to say, but it wasn't wine. Oh, I wonder what Baby Sham really is. But like a sparkling wine, let's say, but it wasn't a wine as such. Do any of you know Baby Sham? It had a little animated fawn, like a deer, a fawn, and that would dance around, and where it danced, it would be followed by lines and stars. And my mum had to think of martini glasses. She had 2 glasses like that with the Baby Sham fawn on. If she still got them, they're probably worth a lot of money now. And so I remember that. I would say that's my earliest memory of a TV advert. So, and that always reminded me of Christmas. You always saw this advert at Christmas. So that's going to be my 5. I could talk about adverts and TV all day. Please ask me questions about TV and adverts growing up in the 70s. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm doing a Q&A and I'll be answering your questions on a Q&A. Let's go back to the gardening. So your calendar for week 3 of April. For herbs, you should be sowing parsley, chives, dill and caraway. For fruit, you should protect and pollinate apricots, peaches and nectarines. You should be mulching gooseberries, cane fruits, currants and top fruit. And in the greenhouse, you should be sowing aubergine, eggplants, dwarf beans. I've got dwarf beans growing in my garden. Cauliflowers, celery, celeriac, lettuce, marrows, melon, courgettes and other marrows, onions, peppers, pumpkins, tomatoes for planting outdoors, and you should be planting tomatoes. So that's all my gardening for April of week 3. Let's do a couple more cards to finish today. Let's do 2 more cards and then we're finished today. So I like to try and keep about an hour for my lives. I've just gone over, but we'll do 2 more cards. Name your top 5 reasons to be cheerful. That is a song from Madness. And I don't know the song, so I can't tell you those. Reasons to be cheerful. I live in Cyprus. I live in a rural area. I have barely any neighbours. I can walk for miles without seeing anybody and lots of goats. And I have the most fantastic scenery of mountains, countryside and the sea. Ooh. And I have Mike here to enjoy it with me. So that is wonderful. Last one, top 5. Oh no, dreams you've had. I did go through a little phase of telling you all my dreams. I dream and I have what appears to be long dreams. I appear to have long dreams. Dreams you have had. Well, I'll go briefly through one that I always had as a child, and I would have it again and again, but each time it would be further in the dream or a different day, but the same dream. So an advancement of days within the dream. And it was kind of like the three bears, but they were real bears, and there wasn't a baby bear, but they were huge bears. And I can't remember the order of it, but basically the dream would be they came to my mum and dad's house where I was living as a child, and they'd knock on the door. And I was always told as a child, you never answer the door, no matter what they say. And the dream progressed. Sometimes they shout through the letterbox, you have to open the door. And I remember sort of being upstairs and like, I'm not answering the door. And they'd say all reasons. And then each time they'd come and it'd be more menacing. Sometimes it would just be the man. He was a very small man, and he had like a black coat and a dark black hat, so you couldn't see his face. And that just progressed and progressed. I was happy. There was something about this dream that went on. It was quite creepy, and even remember it in my head. I remember now how creepy this dream was. I can't even remember the dreams I've told you recently that I've had. I often have dancing dreams, different places that I'd done dancing. And I dreamt the other day one of the rooms that we used to dance in when I went to dance school, and I dreamt about this room. And really sometimes they would open it up, it was like a double room, but usually it was shut, because if something was going on in the hall bit, it's like community building, and if there was something going in the hall, then that was shut off and we couldn't use that bit. And I dreamt about that being open, and was like, oh, what's here? That's two. I dreamt recently about a place that I used to rent one time to take my dance classes when I started a dance school. It was above a record shop, and I was dreaming about that. But when you went up the stairs where it was that I had it, you was actually in the eaves of an attic. And I was saying, like, you can't really do the dance classes here. It was like a proper attic with rafts everywhere and low ceiling. So I dreamt about that. What else? Oh, there's one the other day I was dreaming again. I have lots of dancing dreams, and I think someone was putting on a show, but they wanted me to get them all ready for the show. But I think this was previous to watching one of these stupid DIY programs when they said, oh, it'll be finished on time. And, oh, we've got 5 minutes before the guest arrive and we haven't plumbed the bathroom yet. That kind of rubbish on TV. And I think that was maybe in the backs of my mind, because they said I had to get these dancers ready, who, by the way, most of them hadn't got a clue how to dance. And they gave me all the rubbish dancers that were new or couldn't dance, and they took off the good ones. And they said, well, you've got to get this dance ready for them. And it was like that afternoon performance. I did that recently. And then the last one, got to think of another one. It's another one. Can't think of another one. Oh, I have so many, but you forget them if you don't think of them straight away. I know I had this one about a giraffe, and I wrote it down. I used to write them down. As soon as you wake up, you've got to write down what you remember. It literally fades as quick. I just remember writing this dream out about a giraffe, but I can't remember anything about it now. And I didn't keep the book. Let's do one more, and then I'm really out of here. Oh, that's how to play. Okay. Oh, variations of the game. More. Oh, the game to get you talking. So it's another card of information. Oh, games for talking. Why have we got so many cards? These all different versions. How to choose a card. I'm not meant to do another one. Right, last one. Truly. Name your top 5 pizza toppings. Oh, I can do this one. Top 5 pizza toppings. Mushroom, jalapenos. Got to have some sort of meat on there. So we say chicken, garlic, And I'm going to say stuffed crust. Now that's not a topping, but I've got to have stuffed crust. Normally I do halloumi cheese. I always put, because I make homemade pizzas every week, halloumi cheese, but it's not a topping. If you don't have garlic, you've at least got to have garlic oil on there. Oh, an onion. Got to have onion on there. Hey, done. So let me know the format. Did you prefer it broken up like that? I think that was probably a good idea. And let me know your top 5 pizza toppings. So we'll leave it there, guys. I will be back here again on Wednesday. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. Till next time, as always, Meraki.